what do you hope to show against this Raiders defense, your teammates, yourself, and these Browns fans with their play today?
I'm who they've been looking for. Appreciate it.
I mean, he said it, and shoot, he showed it. People are going to talk about his pregame interview, but they won't talk about his postgame interview. They won't say that Shedeur Sanders after the game said he couldn't have told you 6 or 7 months that he'd be there. But today you saw excitement and hope and belief that you hadn't seen in the Cleveland Browns quarterback or offense this entire year. You saw Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the world, get excited. You saw him with a smile on his face. And listen, I also get it, right? It's the Las Vegas Raiders. But what Shedeur did today earned him another start, earned him the right to show that he could be the guy for the Cleveland Browns. There were plays made above the X's and O's, above strategy, above what Kevin Stefanski called, that hadn't been made all season, that hadn't been made by Dillon Gabriel. Was he perfect? Hell no. He's a rookie in his first start, with his first opportunity to work with the first team. But what you saw today showed you that he at least belongs, and he belongs as the starter for next week.
What's going on there, guys? We're back with another one, and we have Ryan Clark responding to Emanuel Acho's comments about Todd Monken, basically saying that the Cleveland Browns should not be excited about him becoming the head coach, and Shedeur shouldn't listen to him. Now, Monken, like I said in my other video I recently did, and I'll put that at the end of this video, he was on Georgia's staff and recruited Shedeur, as the offensive coordinator / QB's coach for them when Shedeur was in high school. Now, when the draft came around, he was one of the most vocal on the staff about drafting.
You saw what Shedeur Sanders was capable of. We all knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of, and he's going to show that he should start there. Flacco's there. Kenny Pickett was hurt. That little itty-bitty boy from Oregon, whatever his name is.
Dillon Gabriel.
Gabriel, he's an itty-bitty spider. No. Shedeur Sanders is a ball player, fellas.
Reporters, they try and rattle him. You get all this stuff on social media. He's always Shedeur Sanders. Smiling, respectful, knowledgeable, and that's what you get. Dion did an amazing job of not only raising just a beautiful young man in all capacity, but even more so a football player who will not flinch.
Yeah, there's a difference in between being humble and being humbled. Like, the world tried to humble Shedeur Sanders. He just used it to be humble in the way he went about work, the composure, the poise, and the way that he's handled his situation, being the fourth quarterback throughout this. He's not ruffled any feathers. He's shown that he could be a leader. He's shown that he understands he has to earn it. He's told Dion, hey, you got to wait. And the people talking about whether or not this opportunity is a setup, they don't understand ball. And think about the amount of Shedeur Sanders jerseys that have been sold. Think about the way people watch that game. Those are not Cleveland Browns fans. Those are Shedeur Sanders fans. And the owner, Jimmy Haslam, said, you know what? Andrew Berry made this pick. And if I'm Andrew Berry, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman, right? Because we all knew who this man was. We all knew what he'd accomplished. We all knew what he was made of. And for him to go out there on a night that he wasn't supposed to be the starting quarterback, on a night where he hadn't gotten the reps with those people he'd be working with, and show out, showed exactly why he should have been drafted earlier.
What happens when a respected NFL analyst tells players to ignore their head coach? Pure chaos. Emanuel Acho just stepped into a minefield with his take on Shedeur Sanders and Todd Monken, and Ryan Clark wasn't having any of it. The response? Absolutely brutal. Clark called it clickbait. Channing Crowder roasted him, and the internet went nuclear. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about credibility, respect, and what happens when hot takes go too far. Before we dive into this explosion, let me set the stage for you. Todd Monken just became the Cleveland Browns head coach, and Shedeur Sanders, the fifth-round pick everyone doubted, suddenly has a massive advantage. Why? Because Monken wanted him from day one. This relationship goes back to high school, when Monken was at Georgia recruiting him. Fast forward to the draft, and Monken was the loudest voice in Baltimore saying, "Draft Shedeur." Now they're reunited in Cleveland, and the kid who fell to the fifth round has a head coach who believes in him more than anyone. That's the fairy tale setup. But Emanuel Acho, he's telling everyone to pump the brakes and question everything. Let's break down why his take backfired spectacularly.
As a head coach? No.
Nothing about Todd Monken as a head man gets me excited. I need to see who the offensive coordinator is going to be. That's what I need to see. But what I don't yet see, T, is like, how is Todd Monken going to command that locker room, command that group of men? And also, if I'm Shedeur or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What have you won on an NFL level as a head coach? You're not even a head coach on an NFL level. So I don't even have expectations for Shedeur under Todd Monken, because I believe any expectations I would have, he would not meet. Because why am I excited about it?
Emanuel Acho didn't hold back. He straight up said expectations for Shedeur under Todd Monken will lead to disappointment. His reasoning? Monken has never been an NFL head coach before. Acho acknowledged Monken's success as an offensive coordinator, Lamar Jackson's MVP season, 41 touchdowns with just 4 interceptions, 2 national championships at Georgia with Stetson Bennett. But as a head coach, Acho sees nothing exciting, nothing that should make Browns fans optimistic. Then came the statement that crossed the line. Acho asked, "If I'm Shedeur or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What have you won on an NFL level as a head coach?" That's when things got spicy. Ryan Clark came prepared with receipts and zero patience for the narrative Acho was pushing. Clark started by acknowledging that sometimes on podcasts and alternative platforms, people get loose with their opinions. You're talking with friends, the conversation flows, and sometimes you say things you might regret or need to reevaluate later. He gave Acho an out. A chance to recognize the statement might have been too strong. But then Clark flipped the script and went into defense mode for Monken. He emphasized that Todd Monken earned this position. The man worked his way up through the ranks as an offensive mind, even as an older coach climbing the ladder. National championships at Georgia as offensive coordinator? Check. Transforming the Ravens' offense and allowing it to evolve around Lamar Jackson's unique skill set? Absolutely. Lamar won an MVP under Monken and should have won another with that insane 41 touchdown to 4 interception ratio. Those accomplishments aren't flukes. They're evidence of a brilliant football mind who knows how to maximize talent. Here's where Clark delivered the knockout punch. He talked about Shedeur's character and upbringing. Shedeur wasn't raised to disrespect coaches or question authority without cause. He was raised to be respectful, professional, and understand organizational hierarchy. Throughout his entire rookie season, Shedeur showed he listens, plays his role, and understands where he fits within the team structure.
To be very careful to watch what's clickbaity, to watch what we believe will bring us attention, because sometimes it brings the wrong attention. And then how you respond going forward is based on your priorities and what you want people to think of you, how they perceive you, or what you want to think of yourself. And as far as any of those things, that's based on the person.
His hairdo is clickbait.
You're stupid.
So one thing you don't want to do is tell a player not to listen to a coach, right? Because the coach is going to be the person in authority for the foreseeable future.
Clark warned about the dangers of clickbait content and chasing attention for the wrong reasons. He pointed out that how you respond to criticism and what you prioritize, whether it's perception, self-respect, or credibility, defines you as a media personality. Then, Channing Crowder came in with the haymaker. Your hair is clickbait. You're stupid. Brutal, simple, effective. Let's zoom out for a second. The most important detail in this entire situation is the pre-existing relationship between Monken and Shedeur. This isn't some random coach-player pairing. Monken recruited Shedeur when he was at Georgia as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He saw the talent in high school. When the draft came around and Monken was with Baltimore, he was one of the most vocal advocates for drafting Shedeur. The only reason it didn't happen? Lamar Jackson is entrenched as the franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future. Now, fast forward to Cleveland, Shedeur falls to the 5th round after all the draft night chaos, the prank calls, the questions, the doubts. And guess who becomes the head coach? The one guy who wanted him all along. The one coach who saw his potential when others passed. The one mentor who has a relationship spanning years. When Shedeur came back from Paris and walked into that building, the embrace between him and Monken said everything. They immediately sat down together, chopping it up like old times. Reports from people around the team suggest Shedeur has the inside track to be the starting quarterback heading into next season, not because of favoritism, but because Monken genuinely believes in him. The fundamental flaw in Acho's argument is that he's judging Monken solely on his lack of NFL head coaching experience, while completely ignoring everything else. Coaching is about leadership, strategy, player development, and building a culture. Monken has demonstrated all of those at the highest levels of college football and as an NFL coordinator. Does being a first-time head coach guarantee success? Of course not. But does it mean players shouldn't listen or respect him? Absolutely not. That's a dangerous message to send, especially to young players trying to establish themselves in the league.
Us, when we get on these platforms and we have these opportunities, we do have to be very careful to watch what's clickbaity, to watch what we believe will bring us attention, because sometimes it brings the wrong attention. And then how you respond going forward is based on your priorities and what you want people to think of you, how they perceive you, or what you want to think of yourself. And as far as any of those things, that's based on the person.
His headdo is clickbait.
Think about it this way. Shedeur has two options. Trust the coach who believed in him before anyone else did, who has a proven track record of developing quarterbacks and championship-winning offenses, and who now has the authority to build an entire system around him, or listen to outside noise questioning whether he should even pay attention to his head coach. The choice is obvious. This entire situation highlights something beautiful about Shedeur's journey. From being a top 5 talent who fell to the 5th round, from dealing with prank calls on draft night, to landing in a situation with a coach who genuinely wants him, things have a way of working out. Many quarterbacks drafted ahead of him don't have a head coach who specifically wanted them at every level of their career. Monken wanted Shedeur in high school, wanted him in the draft, now has the power to make him the centerpiece of the offense. That's alignment you can't manufacture. Shedeur got his feet wet with a few starts as a rookie. The team knows his cadence now. He'll have a full training camp and preseason to establish chemistry and prove what he can do. He's shown he can take shots downfield and make big plays, something the Browns desperately need. Sure, he needs to work on not staring down receivers and holding the ball too long. He needs better protection, but those are coachable issues. One critical point that often gets overlooked, you have to give coaches time to build. A few draft classes, a couple free agency periods to shape the roster according to their vision. Success isn't solely on players or coaches. The front office has to make smart financial decisions, structure deals properly, and put the team in position to compete. Professional football isn't pickup basketball where you just choose who you want. It's a complex organizational effort requiring alignment between coaching, player development, roster construction, and cap management. Judging Monken after year 1 would be premature. Judging him before he even coaches a game, that's just noise. So where does this leave us? Emanuel Acho made a take that prioritized controversy over context. Ryan Clark responded with facts, perspective, and a reminder about the responsibility that comes with having a platform. Channing Crowder delivered the internet-breaking soundbite that turned this into a viral moment. But beyond the entertainment value, there's a real lesson here. Todd Monken has earned his opportunity through decades of hard work, proven results, and genuine relationships with players. Shedeur Sanders has a coach who believes in him more than anyone, who wanted to draft him when others passed, and who now has the power to build an offense around his strengths. That's not a situation to question. That's a situation to be excited about. The Browns might finally have their quarterback of the future paired with a coach who saw his potential before it was popular to do so. Whether they succeed or fail will be determined on the field, not by hot takes designed to generate clicks. What do you think? Was Acho out of line, or does he have a point about Monken being unproven? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button for more breakdowns of the biggest football stories. We're just getting started.